Hello, everybody. Welcome to hanging out with the crew here, the usual guys, and we have a few new ones here who've been very valuable to us. I will first, before I introduce everybody, we want to thank our longtime sponsor, DJ Event Planner. You can reach them at www.djeventplanner.com, and our other sponsors will be down below this video when it's published. And I will go from left to right and welcome Alex from Cyprus.
Hey guys.
And our good friend Boston John is here. We have the one and only Brian S. Red. And from his neck of the woods, we have Matt with us. And just back from Vegas, we have Jay with us. Welcome back, Jay. All right, guys. I wanted to start out with a little bit of humor that ran across my feed. I'm sure it's just some kind of trolling thing, but I thought it was really funny and it'd be funny for us to see. So I'm going to screen share this and let you see that. I'm doing a project on elderly DJs. If you are a DJ and over 25, please DM me. I mean,
What's a DM?
we're entering DM. I thought it was a message.
I'm going to yell at the clouds.
So we're going to go open format, whatever you guys want to talk about. You have any thoughts on that humor? Or I think it's just a troll thing myself, but it was funny,
Glasses up because I feel like even older.
You start, Grandpa. Tell us what you got.
So what's going on in your neck of the woods there, Alex?
Well, my season started now, so I'm busy.
Good for you.
Yeah, lots of bookings. It's nice to be back to normality, shall we say, over the last couple of years. And I'm helping out a pub, a venue, sort out their system because they're putting on bands and things like this. So that's a good side project as well. So yeah, I think it's good. I hope everything is good with everybody else as well. Jay's Jay's not very happy because I think he's just lost. He's just told the plane that he had. He's lost in a game. Coming back from Vegas.
No, I lost a good amount of money this trip and won it all back, including 15 cents.
Wow.
I was down.
What can you get?
I was down and then I won everything back and was 15 cents up. And I was like, that's a sign.
Yes.
But I mean, I was in Vegas 3 weeks ago. I was in Vegas in February, January. I'm supposed to go back to Vegas in 3 weeks. So Vegas is becoming like just a thing to do. It's not like a lot of the thrill goes away because it's always work. It's not just, go party and, hang out. See, yesterday was work. I mean, I left my house at 9 o'clock in the morning and I finished the gig at 11 o'clock last night. So, I mean, technically work because I had to drive there, set up, do the gig, tear down. I mean, it's not a bad life, but, it's still work. By the way, the age thing, Howie, I think if you look at probably the top 10 DJs, with the exception of the producers who are new, the Kygos and the Martin Garrix and those guys, I mean, most of them are late 30s up. Calvin Harris is in his 40s. Zed's young. I think Zed's in his early 30s. I think Deadmau5 is over 45. Cascade's over 45. Tiesto's over 50. Carl Grimes is 60. Yeah. Though, I mean, I get the joke about it, but I've met and if this offends anyone, then that's not my problem. But I've met a lot of very young DJs who are very tunnel vision about what they're into. So, I think with age just comes more diversity, exposure, and just the opportunity to see people make mistakes and what you can do not to make those again. So I think there's a real advantage to older DJs. I mean, I'm doing a hip hop scratch event that Wiz Khalifa played last night, and I'm not 21. So if there was a 21-year-old that was better than me for the gig, maybe they would have hired them. So, I think there's an advantage to age in most professions. I'd rather see a doctor who's been around for 40 years sometimes than one that just got out of med school. One might be technically better, but the older one has experience, and that's invaluable.
Yeah, I was thinking that too when I read that. I was thinking when I had my eye surgery and they put the new lenses in and all that, I had a choice. There was the 65-year-old guy that did, 30 or 40,000 of these procedures. And then there was a new person that they just graduated and they assisted in 100 of them. And I was like, yeah, I'll take the guy that did 30 or 40,000 of these things,
No, but I think the point that someone's probably going to make in the comments is, yeah, but if the guy's done 30,000 bad surgeries, he's not good at what he does. Same way if you've done 25 years of a DJ doing the same event every day, every year, you're probably not that great. I think it's all in the character of the person, and if they're growing as an individual in the profession, then I think time has to play a big role in that. It has to be beneficial.
Old DJs are funny. They're just funny. I mean,
this is Brian S. Red, everyone. He thinks that you can't be creative over 30. So
no. I think they're funny though. I did a full weekend at the club this weekend, and I posted something about that. And somebody had asked, "Well, how you feeling?" And it was like, as I came home, I guess it was early Sunday morning. The only thing I could think to say is, "Oh, my feet hurt," and oh my God. That was like a trigger for like everybody to tell me about their aches and pains. This like thread that went on forever. Oh, my back. Oh, my pancreas. Oh, my whatever. Oh boy. Come on. I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, right.
Someone younger looking at that's going to think that old guys are just ridiculous and complain about their ailments all the time. And I agree with Jay. Most of the DJs out there that I know that are really solid are my age or older.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I don't disagree with you at all. I will say, and I've said it recently, that very recently in my market, I've met some fantastic younger DJs who really got it going on.
Mm-hmm.
So good is good, I guess. The age doesn't matter. It's good is good. You can be fantastic and be young and fantastic and be old. I've got a guy who's going to be showing up here in about 45 minutes. I'm going to help him out with some lighting stuff. Who's in his 20s. I'm going to learn things from him. He's going to learn things from me because he's solid. Sure. Don Carlo, you guys have met Don Carlo. He's coming up for some help on some lighting stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, it's funny. At 25, it's all perspective. I think when I was 21, I thought 25 was elderly too. Yeah, I did.
You learn that work ethic really quick too. It's like saying, how do you feel after working a weekend? It's like, it wouldn't even dawn on me to consider it an issue for anybody, but I do know a lot of younger, like at the shows, you see the shows, we get a 23-year-old, 25-year-old sometimes, and it's like, you got to be in the booth at 10 o'clock, and I'm there at 9, Pulse is there at 9, and it's like 2 minutes of 10, and they're rolling in, and you can tell they just got ready, and I'm like, what time did you guys get in? Oh, dude, I crashed around midnight. What time did you get up? 9:30. You slept for 9.5 hours?
Yeah, you can do that when you're a kid.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's to me, it strikes me as odd. Like, I got in at 2 this morning, got up at 7, got ready, went and picked up the gear, waited an hour and a half to get the gear, and then drove it home. But it doesn't dawn on me that that's not normal.
They say that the older you get, the less sleep that you need. So when you're younger, you need more sleep. When you're older, you need more sleep. Like I used to be able to do 12 hours after the club. I would just go comatose until about 5:30 in the afternoon, get up, get showered, and go back to the club. Now I'm a 6-hour guy. Guy like Howie, he's like, I don't know, 15, 16 minutes? That's
20 minutes. That's probably all he needs.
It, not done.
To go hang upside down in the closet for a few minutes to recharge.
No, I'm gonna wind up getting one of those chairs everybody suggested that you get.
Oh, yeah.
You lean against it.
That was funny, too, because everybody was showing me their chairs. And I'm thinking to myself, I have a whole, seating booth in my booth. It has nothing to do with I didn't have a place to sit down. It has everything to do with I'm not just standing there playing music all night or sitting there playing music all night. I'm playing host. I'm talking to people. I'm introducing myself and asking people where they're from and checking sound levels and making sure everything's cool at the bar, making sure everything's cool at the door, making sure that the servers, everything's good. If I can do anything for them, let me know. So, if I just sat there all night, it would be fine. But that's, I'm running around so much. And, I hate to bring it up, but I am disabled. So that takes a little more out of a guy. Yeah, it's growth tears. In and out of my booth.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, I guess a lot of DJs must sit because 95% of my gigs, if they're corporate or weddings in a hotel environment, I show up and, your table's right there. Okay, cool. And there's a chair. And I'm like, I don't need this. Oh, you don't need a chair? No, I never sit at the gig. It's just because the adrenaline's going. And once you start to sit, you get tired. I'd rather sit in the car.
Sure.
I get out of the car, load in, and not sit again till I get in the car to drive home because you don't want to slow the momentum. But apparently, there's a whole slew of either staff that thinks we all sit or DJs that secretly sit because there's always a chair. And I'm like, is this an extra? No, that's for you. To do what?
Will there be lions?
For you to kick back and sit. Like when? What am I going to sit like this, reach over, hit play? Maybe that's the perception. Like, yeah. Well, I'm walking around, I'm doing stuff. I mean, do you guys ever track your walking at an event?
Should.
Well, I track it at every event. It's like 7, 8, 9,000 steps. Because it's
the Fitbit.
Around.
In my Atlantic City, it's like 20,000 steps. Yeah.
Yeah. Your iPhone in your pocket. You just go to the Heart app, hit it, and hit activity. It'll tell you every day for the last however long you've had the phone how many steps you do. So
when I was starting at the first multi-app that I worked at, I remember our boss said, I don't pay you to sit. And he also said that, look, if you're not going to get up, how can you expect your audience to get up out of their chairs? You got to lead by example. You got to stand there. So that was always kind of my thing, but I do understand that, especially some of us elderly DJs do need to sit. We have other things, there are things. I stand, I make it a point too. I would have every excuse to sit, but I stand because I can. But I understand there are some folks out there that just can't anymore. And I wouldn't let standing take you out of this game. As if you're good at what you do, stay in this thing as long as you can. And having a seat is what's going to keep you in the game. Have a seat,
Brian, I'm surprised that nobody got you a $2 foam tile, but then repackaged it as a what they call it, a fatigue mat, and then got a fatigue mat for 30 bucks.
Yeah, sure.
And really, it's just a $2 piece of foam.
Get them in Home Depot.
Yeah, I have insoles, but I need new insoles.
I actually saw those leaning chairs, I guess they call them, where they have it's almost like a bicycle seat, where, there are people that do need, that for medical reasons that do need that. So we're not hating on anybody here, just in case. If you need to use that, you can still appear to be standing and take a little bit of a break if you need it. So.
I have a folding stool that I bring sometimes if I need to just lean my butt back on something.
Right.
But I'm not perched on it all night, like some kind of freaking crow or something.
No, I think just for being seated, like if you're doing some kind of tech work and you're just riding mics, then you're not DJing. You're just on sitting AV, have a stool, sit down, stay out of sight. Well, I'll give you a quick run through for us gentlemen of a certain age. My weekend, I got to see my
colonoscopy, perchance?
Yeah. My daughter's boyfriend's band, who I'll give them a quick plug here, the Menagerie Band. We went and saw. They played Friday night, so followed that up Saturday by DJing to a crowd that was probably a little bit older than a 25-year-old DJ could have figured out. But with all the stuff we talk about in here in music, we know what they need. How to dip in and out of 70s funk into yacht rock, into everything that would work for a crowd like that. I don't know if I would have played the same set at the age of 25 as I do now. I think the experience has made us wise, that we know more, we can figure out more, and we've seen it. If if you're trying to get dancers out and you're counting the numbers that are coming, you know what card to pull and say, this is going to work with that. This is building. So for DJs, they're in the under 25 market, you get your work cut out for us. We grew up listening to all this music, and we know as many years of it, and they came along later, and they know 2000 to now, but that period before they were born doesn't exist unless they research it. Yeah. If they're playing those audiences,
Now, before I let Matt have a chance here, I've witnessed an exception, and I know that Brian and Jay were there at Morrow's very last tamale party in Vegas. That kid that was DJing, he was awesome.
I don't remember.
Who was it?
I can't remember, but he was real young.
It wasn't Dawson, was it?
I can't remember yet. He was very thin, wore a ball cap, and his hair was down to his butt. Was a very nice, very nice fellow.
Yeah, he's from like Connecticut. I know it. Jesse, I think is his real name. He's a really good kid. Yeah, he's a really good kid.
Yeah,
he travels all the DJ shows with his mom. Mm-hmm. I've had long talks with that kid. He's sharp, but he's that generation. And I'm not saying that everyone young isn't, but he's in particular trying to learn music. The gig last night was this guy Scratch Bastard, who is from Canada. He's a scratch DJ, really good.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, really good DJ. But I had said to my boss, because I didn't have any music, shout out to Tidal on this. I didn't have my hard drive, and we're in a rooftop bar called We All Scream. And I got my phone, and I hotspotted this MacBook Air, brand new computer, and it allowed me to sign into Tidal. And I started playing from my Twitch set, my 60s and 70s funk, and the crowd completely turned and was like loving it. And my boss Hector's like, what's going on? I'm like, this is what you're going to see Scratch Bastard play. And he did. He played a couple Michael McDonald tracks, played Take On Me. I mean, he's all over the map, but I'm seeing a trend of DJs going backwards, and I'm kind of hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
Like John was saying, they don't, I talked to a well-known club DJ from Vegas last night. He didn't know who My Life with Thrill Kill Cult was. He didn't know the movie Cool World. He didn't know the song Sex on Wheels. He wasn't sure what the show was. But he's like, but then he said, dude, I got to be honest. I was born in 96. I'm like, yeah, but like Lords of Acid, no clue. I'm like, darling, come here. And like, sit on acid. He goes, oh, yeah, I've heard that hook. But you know what? He's a successful, making a really good income DJ playing in Vegas casinos, doing video work. And he's not playing My Life with Thrill Kill or Lords of Acid or Ministry. He's playing the new stuff, and he's mixing, the stuff that none of us are playing. Because I'm not playing what he's playing. He's naming off groups that I've heard of, but I'm like, yeah, dude, doesn't really come up at weddings. Yeah, I don't do weddings, only clubs. And his audience wants that new minute and a half, get out style stuff. So I said this last week, I'm trying to short mix now because it's a skill set I don't use and I don't have. But as an older DJ, I want that. I want to scratch better. I want to quick mix better. And hopefully we can find a medium ground where young and old can go, hey man, can you do this? No. Well, I'll teach you this. Can you teach me about yacht rock? Yeah, sure. Like, check this out. And what about this? And, bands do this all the time. Old bands teach young bands stuff constantly and vice versa. Mm-hmm. But DJs, we all seem to have that ego in the line in the sand where we don't want to cross over.
Matt, do you have some thoughts for us? You haven't gotten a chance to speak.
Yeah, well, just to kind of follow up Jay here too. I think a lot of times, even those of us who may be in multi-ops, and I'm a single op myself, but it's like when you're a DJ at an event, you're typically the only DJ there. You're the one man show. There's really nobody for you to play off of. So I think, I do think that there's definitely ego is a factor, but I think too, like there's so many things you end up teaching yourself if you don't know what resources are available as well. So that's definitely, something that I appreciate about the YouTube community, the Twitch community, and all of that. There's a lot of really helpful people out there. Oh, the Facebook groups that are out there too. My goodness. It's really taught me a lot in such a short time. I've been a DJ for 15 years, but just getting involved in that side of the community here recently, it's just, you're like, wait a minute, everybody's talking about do you stand or do you sit, or everybody's talking about like this, these things that you deal with on your own, and you're like, well, is this just me? Is this my style? Is this how, is this a problem I'm having, or is this a solution that only I know about? And then you're like really able to get in and share those things with each other. So it goes a long way. And programs like this go a long way too. You talked about aging yourself. I just called it a program. Oh man. Here, watch that good little program tonight after prom time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, we're taping this, so don't worry. You can watch it back. We're going to tape this anyway. So
Yeah,
we're going to tape
recorded right now. So.
We're taping the program.
The VHS is set. It's still blinking 12 o'clock.
yeah, the data box and ready to roll.
Does anybody else have anything they want to get off their chest or expound upon before we put a fork in this?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about educating yourself. It doesn't matter how old you are. You could be you could be in your 40s or even 50s and becoming a DJ, and you may not know about certain genres from music because you may have been like, even in your 50s now, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever, when you were a kid, you were into rock music and you never listened to this other genre. So when you come into it, you educate yourself. You find out, what is it? Yeah, and I think sometimes it's better to try and educate yourself rather than sort of like go onto Tidal or whatever and these companies that sell you playlists, and say, oh, this is like great 80s, It's much better to just try and sort of like educate yourself by listening to music, going, actually, I like this, and this track, is much better than this track. It's by the same band or artist, but, to listen to it and experience yourself rather than just go, I'm going to play this list of the top 180 songs because they want an 80s party. But some of those songs, are ballads. They're not the kind of things you want at a party,
Right.
So, education, is always a good way, no matter how old you are, whether you're young or old, in the industry.
Yes, or as the punchline said, elderly. So on that note, hey, folks, tune in next week. We have a very special secret guest coming in, and everybody knows him. So for that, we're going to say good night and thank you all.